Welcome to the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for all things man, husband, and father. Big shout out to Fallible Nation that makes all this possible, and a warm welcome to our first-time listeners. Thank you for spending some time with us today. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Brent, and I'm the Fallible Man. And on today's show, we're sharing 7 lessons every child needs to learn. Regardless of if you're a mentor, a role model, a father figure, a dad, a biological dad, or not, there are some things that all children need to learn, and you need to show them. So let's get into it. Here's the million-dollar question. How do men like us reach our full potential and grow into the men we dream of being while taking care of our responsibilities, working, being good husbands, fathers, and still take care of ourselves? That's the question, and this podcast will help you with those answers. My name is Brent, and welcome to the Fallible Man Podcast. What's up, guys? The 4th of July is almost upon us, and it always makes me think about legacy. The legacy of our founding fathers, our forefathers, whatever you want to say, the legacy of our country, the legacy to the world that we are. Here we are 245 years later celebrating our nation. Most legacies don't even survive 2 generations. What is our legacy? Our legacy is what we teach the young people that are entrusted to us in whatever form they come through your life. Maybe a coach, a youth minister, a teacher, a scout leader, a police officer, dad, uncle, brother, it doesn't matter. It is incumbent upon all of us to make sure that certain truths ring out to that next generation. So guys, I have these 7 truths, and it doesn't matter. You need to share these with young people in your life. I know it seems overwhelming, but guess what? You're a role model, whether you want to be one or not. So let's get into this list. Number 1, guys, every child is valuable just because they exist. There is no such thing as a child that is not valuable, even if that child wasn't planned. Let me be 100% clear about this. No child is without value. This is a hot topic right now, and with the recent court decision and everything else going on, and people are just losing their shit. So let me reiterate it one more time. Every child is valuable just because they exist. You may not have planned for the child, but they are valuable and important. I'll delve further into that in my second point. One of my favorite quotes in the world, I know it's silly, is from a TV series. So you can blow it off if you want, but it goes like this. 900 years of time and space, and I have never met someone who wasn't important. It's the 11th Doctor from the TV series or old radio series, Doctor Who. And guys, this rings true as can be. Fiction illustrates great wisdom sometimes, and on a regular basis, we see stuff that is fictionalized all the time that has some really great messages. So we can't throw it out just because it's a TV show. Now, here's the other piece that needs to be included in this knowledge. They, as a person, are valuable. It does not, however, entitle them to anything other than a chance to become who they are meant to be. They deserve and are entitled to the same opportunity to grow into who they are meant to become by their own actions, just like everyone else is. Everything has to be worked for and can be obtained. The world has a rich history of standout people, regardless of some of the most adverse situations possible. Put in the effort, put in the reps, and you can and will get there. Having value is a God-given right. Having things is not. We have too many people who think they're entitled to things. They are entitled to the fact that they are valuable. Every child is valuable. We're not entitled to things. We have a God-given right to be valuable because of who we are and that we exist, not to own stuff. And that has gotten really lost these days. Number 2, you are responsible for your life and everything in it. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink is not a new title for any of my regulars. But if this is your first time, if you hear nothing else, I want you to read this book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. You've probably heard of his podcast. He's former Navy SEAL and Navy SEAL instructor, has a great show, but this book is really, really amazing and you should read it. This book only served to reinforce what my father had already taught me. The minute you step outside of this idea, you become a victim. We have far too many of those these days. Even if it's not your fault, you still own and are responsible for how you react, what you learn from it, and how you choose to feel about it. My dad drove this home really early on. No one can make you feel any way in which you don't allow them to. I learned this after being picked on at school one day. Today, we'd call it bullying because, well, everything's bullying apparently. But I'm grateful that my father sees the opportunity to give me strength and power in my life instead of letting me become a victim. You make your choice. You choose to take on the risk, the repercussions, and the possible consequences. It is truly that simple. People accept this every day when they get into cars, even though accidents, including auto accidents, are the third leading cause of death in the United States. Even if someone were literally to threaten your life, you still have a choice. And after, you still have control about how you feel about it, what you choose to do next, what you do with the consequences, and who you become because of that event. For the majority of all things, if you don't like the possible consequences, make a different choice. It may not be fair, but no one guaranteed fair, and life seldom is. Once again, we have too many people in that victim mentality. Guys, we need to help the next generation not fall into this crazy victim mentality. There are choices in life. People used to say the only thing in life you have no choice about is death and taxes. Well, guess what? Eventually, yeah, you're going to die. You might be able to choose how you go, but that is the only absolute. Yes, you can choose whether you pay taxes, and I would never advocate for you not to pay taxes, okay? In case the IRS is listening to YouTube. But you still have a choice. If you choose not to, you will have to live with the consequences of not doing that. Just like if you get in a car, you have to live with the consequences if you're in a wreck or if someone runs into you. I know a lot of people who have been in wrecks. They had nothing to do with it. It wasn't their fault at all. But we accept that risk to make cars a normal part of life, to make our life practical and our reality practical with how spread out we are these days. Cars are a necessary evil, right? But by getting behind the wheel of a car, you take on certain responsibilities, possible repercussions, and the consequences. You have a choice about everything you do in life. It is that simple. You may not like the options of not doing some of those things. You may not think it's fair that there are consequences for doing some of those things. But ultimately, you have a choice. Make the choice, live with consequences. And if you don't, you should probably make another choice. Because in the end, it's in your hands. No one else has a say over it. Only you got that choice, and you have to live with it. Number 3 that you need to share with young people for the value of the next generation, for the value of the world going forward, is you need to share gratitude will make life better. I cannot overstate this fact, guys. Learning to be grateful, even in difficult times, will make you a better person and will increase the quality of your life in every single way. The more you practice gratitude, the better your life will be. Gratitude shades everything and improves your perspective in ways that we cannot even begin to put in words. See everyone and everything with gratitude in your heart. You can't help but enjoy life more and have a better attitude about everything. And as my dad used to tell me, attitude is everything. Your attitude will affect your whole life. Everybody in it, everybody around you, every situation. Gratitude is the greatest influence on your attitude to keep you in a good space. This is something that I have to work at daily. I'm not saying these are easy things. I won't pretend that I perfected all of these things. What I can tell you is something I'm trying to teach my own children, is something I'm trying to encourage in myself and in my household, and it's something I try and encourage everybody around me to do. Some of you have heard the podcast. with Stephen Crane. Guys, if not, go back to that. He wrote a book called I Can Appreciate That, and it's a summary in a bunch of little essays on a year he spent devoted to living gratefully, to live with gratitude. And it changed his life forever, so much so that he is on his own crusade now to try and teach people the value of gratitude in their lives. If you teach a young person to live in a state of gratitude, to be grateful for what is around them, you will change their life for the better forever. I promise you. And it's something you absolutely need to share with them. Number 4, learning is the true superpower that anybody can have. I have 2 little girls. They love to play games, right? They love to make believe and pretend. And one of their favorite things right now is superheroes, right? We live in the age of Marvel movies and DC, Lego, Marvel and DC characters, right? Kids see it at every age group now. There's, I think, probably more DC movies on Netflix that are Lego DC movies than there are even Marvel movies, which is crazily difficult to do these days. And they like to pretend they have superpowers. They love to play superpowers, and I'll listen to them tell me, oh, I have this power and I have this power and we're playing this game and I have this magic. And it cracks me up. But let me tell you, learning is the true superpower. If you think back about all of the great superhero characters that like really made a huge impact, very few people have favorites like Superman. A lot of people like guys like Tony Stark, right? Iron Man, Batman, Green Lantern, or sorry, not the Green Lantern. Sorry, Ryan Reynolds. Green Arrow, right? These are some of the ones we like on TV and in the movies. And what's their superhero power? They're rich. They're rich and they can make great gadgets. They're also highly intelligent, which helps them with the whole gadgetry thing. We live in the most exciting time in history because knowledge is free-flowing to the masses. Being ignorant or dumb is a choice. The gates of knowledge have been thrown wide open to the world and with an open invitation. I'm not referring to organized education system at large. We have a lot of good teachers, and we also have some that are just phoning in like you do at any other job. The education system at large seems to have been crafted or corrupted to produce laborers and nothing more. It kills free thought and creativity and teaches people to follow directions and orders, right? We're creating labor force. No disrespect to the teachers who are out there trying to do better and teach our children with their hands tied with a bunch of bad curriculum and mandates. I know it's beyond you. What I'm talking about, though, is there's a free flow of information that is readily available to the wide world at this point. There are more online courses, podcasts like this one, YouTube videos like my channel, books, coaches, libraries, masterclasses, seminars, and other forms of education than there have been at any point in the history of mankind. Education was once reserved for only the rich, noble, or aristocratic. No more, and God willing, never again. If you want to improve your life, you pick up a book or a podcast, and you can start right now in this moment today. I went from construction to an IT career in my own life. My friend simply said, here's a computer, here's a book, learn something. It changed my life drastically for the better to find out that I could change my own socioeconomic status and improve the quality of my life for myself and my family with a book and a little faith from a friend. You can be that friend to a young person. Teach them that education, not school necessarily, but education, learning, continue learning, will let them decide their own path and where they want to go. And if you don't like where you are, pick up a book and get to work. There's no limit about what you can achieve in this day and age, and it is absolutely 100% amazing. Now, guys, we're going to roll to our sponsors, and we'll be right back with the rest of this list. I'm calling on all men right now to stand up and stand against this horrific crime. It is estimated that over 300,000 children are being sex trafficked in the United States alone every single day. I want you to get on your social media. I want you to follow savinginnocence.org or fightforme.net. Both of these charities are working to end child trafficking in the United States and abroad. You can donate at www.thefallibleman.com superpower.com/shop and buy our End Human Trafficking merchandise, and all proceeds will be given indefinitely to savinginnocence.org. You can also go to www.savinginnocence.org/donate and donate directly to Saving Innocence. Men, it is time for us to fight and stop this horrible thing known as human trafficking. All right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Hey, hopefully you're digging the list. And guys, on this episode, we're talking about 7 truths, 7 lessons you need to teach the young people in your life. And it doesn't matter if you're a dad or if you're a coach or a scoutmaster or a youth minister, you are a male mentor to a young person in your life, whether you know it or not. It's just a fact. And these are 7 lessons that all children need to be taught for the betterment of their future and the future of our world, guys. Things that are absolutely valuable for them to wrap their minds around and absorb as early in life as possible. Now, we've already gone 1 through 4, guys, and we're starting at number 5. Number 5 is hard work is valuable, good, and necessary. Learn to love it. I've been a trainer for a lot of years in many different vocations. One of the things I have found to be true in every field, industry, and vocation is that someone who has a great work ethic is far more valuable than someone with an ideal, that's air quotes, ideal skill set, guys. In many cases, skills needed will be taught with specific processes related to that company or industry. Even if you already have some of the prerequisite knowledge or skills, you will still have to be re-educated in how that specific group wants you to use those skills or their specific process of working within that. Processes are very specific to companies. The one thing I cannot teach someone is how to have a good work ethic. I can't teach somebody not to be lazy. I can't teach somebody to be punctual, which is a highly valuable skill. And I can't teach somebody to care about their job or to care enough to do good quality work to the best of their ability. That's not something that I can train. That's something that takes years. In fact, a strong work ethic is something you develop over time and will set you apart like nothing else. Embrace work. Embrace the things that make you stretch. Embrace things that challenge you. Revel in the things that take you out of your comfort zone and challenge you to grow and improve yourself. Hard work is something you should run towards, never away from. Look for opportunities to push yourself to that next level. Pro tip here, guys. You will also sleep better. You'll feel more accomplished and more proud of the person you are when you embrace hard work and good work ethic. Anything worth having or doing is worth working for with all your might. That's just a fact, and that's something we need to instill in the next generation. Number 6, discipline is better than any drug. We don't like the idea of discipline most of the time, but it's not only necessary, it's crucial to your life. Discipline will move mountains and weather the storms, no matter how large they are, no matter what life throws at you. Now, I'm a gym guy. Many of my regular listeners know I love to work out. And much to my clients' dismay, I'm also a squat guy. There are very few things in the health and fitness industry that squats aren't actually the answer for. You want to be stronger? Squat more. You want to tone up? Squat more. You want to lose weight? Squat. You want to be faster? Squat. Yeah, I know I paused a little long there. You want to improve your bench? Can you guess where I'm going? That's right. Squat more. I know that seems strange, and if you're not a gym person, that probably really seems odd. But squats really are the answer to most of the things you find in your health and fitness journey. Discipline's that for life. You want a better job? Practice your discipline. You want a healthier life? Discipline. You want more money? Discipline is the answer. You want better relationships? Still discipline. The answer is discipline. The only question is where you need to exercise or build more discipline in your life. That's the only part of that that's even a question. It will save you from making horrible choices that can corrode all the hard work that you've been doing, refer to the last point, and your goals. It will carry you on when you want to quit. It will hold you steady when it gets difficult. It will help you keep rooted when you're distracted by all the many things that try and steal your attention these days. And it will help you level up anything you do. We don't like discipline because discipline's hard. Let's be honest. I'm not going to lie. Discipline is hard and has become more of a punchline than a sought after skill. It gets the eye rolls when it's thrown out as the answer. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people are rolling their eyes right now listening to this show. I promise you, discipline is the answer. It's better than any drug, because instead of feeling unstoppable or like you can do anything, the fact is discipline makes you able to do anything and unstoppable. A disciplined individual will achieve what they set out to. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Some things take longer than others, but I promise you that disciplined individual will achieve what they're after. And it is something crucial for us to impress upon the next generation of young people. So if you have young people in your life, guys, this is something that you need to not only teach them, you have to demonstrate it in your life. What they will learn from you, they will learn from watching you, not from the things you say. You have to develop a deep relationship with somebody for them to hear the words you're saying instead of just taking on what they're actually observing from you. Now, number 7, guys, consistency will win. Most kids are told the story of the tortoise and the hare at some point in their life. We all heard it, whether you heard it in a story or read it in a kid's book or as an illustration for some point from a teacher. It is one of the only times we're ever told that consistency is key, unless you are big into the workout world where you'll hear it a little more often. You won't hear it very often that consistency is the key to winning. Now, this is true on 2 fronts. Consistency in effort and work will work magic in your life. In the gym, in the job, in investing, in relationships, consistency is key. It separates winners and losers in so many ways that I could honestly probably do an entire show just on the value of consistency. Consistency in character will set you apart in the eyes of others and yourself. I just recently had a group of men together in a conference we did called the Phoenix Conference. We did it, and we've got another one coming up in February. If you guys want to know about that, check it out on my website. I asked all the guys, who was that role model and what made them stand out in their minds over looking at their life? And the top 2 answers were work ethic, which we have already talked about, and consistency of character. It was amazing how many men that came out of. It wasn't pre-planned or anything. Consistency of character. Men respect men who are the same through and through, no matter the situation. So be the same person no matter what. In every situation, be constant in who you are. This will create trust, reputation, and respect. When people see that there's no mask or front, they'll be drawn to you and they'll respect you. Respect is worth more than money. I know that's hard to swallow, but respect really is worth more than money. It's a currency that will open a lot of doors and opportunities. Consistency will make you stand out in the minds of people and imbue you with the ability to produce dramatic results for those people or in your own life. Consistency is one of the greatest things you can achieve. I had a coworker one time meet me outside of work to help me out with some stuff. And he was like, wow, you are exactly the same person at work that you are at home. That's crazy. I thought it was crazy. That was strange, but I was deeply complimented because I strive for that in my life. I strive to be the same person no matter where you catch me. Guys, if you catch me on the street, I'm still Brent. That is my goal. If you catch me at work, this is how I am at work, which is amazing that I managed to keep my jobs because, well, let's say I'm a little outspoken, right? Who you see is who you get. That is something we need to teach the next generation because that sets them apart. Now, like I said, it was a huge compliment to me, but it blew my mind that to him, that was an oddity. Now, guys, we've touched on several, and I want to run through them again in case you came in part of the way through the show. Number one is every child is valuable just because they exist. Number two is you are responsible for your life and everything in it. Number three is gratitude will make life better. Period. I can't stress that enough. Number four was learning is the true superpower that anybody can have. And that is 100% true. Hard work is valuable, good, and necessary. Learn to love and embrace hard work. Your life will be much easier. Number six was discipline is better than any drug, and it's true. Discipline will enable you to reach heights you never thought were possible before. And number seven is consistency will win out. In so many aspects of your life, guys, it's incredible. I could go on and on about that. Now, what do you guys think about these 7 lessons or ideals? I wasn't even sure how to call this, right? What term to use? Ideals, characteristics, lessons. What do you guys think? Did I miss something in this list? If you think I did, be sure and share down in the comments on any of the platforms you're on, guys. It really just furthers the conversation that we need to be having. So share your comments and help the community out. You are someone's role model, regardless if you want to be or not. Teach children these things. Set them apart for a greater future. That is legacy. Guys, be safe. Have a happy 4th of July. Don't blow anything off. The idea is to come back with just as many fingers and toes as you had when you started, right? And as always, be better tomorrow because of what you do today. We'll see you on the next one.
This has been the Fallible Man Podcast, your home for everything man, husband, and father. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a show. Head over to www.thefallibleman.com for more content and get your own Fallible Man gear.